Tana, did you hear about the new Paisanos deal? More pizza, less dough. Medium, one topping, $5.99. Are you out of your mind?
I'm going to order it right now, buddy. What's the code?
Yes, $5.99 pizza. Hurry up, man. Press send. I'm hungry.
I'm on it, buddy. I'm on it.
Coming up on the Santana Moss Show podcast, how did Richmond treat my boy?
And the Redskins said, trade? What trade? Who's getting traded? They ain't budging. Talking about no trade talk with my man Trent. And guess what? The Bengals visit the Skins at FedEx Field for Game 2 of the preseason. Man, we're talking quarterbacks. Quarterbacks.
It all goes back to the quarterback, Tana, as you know.
And don't tell me my man Trav had to give AB 2 weeks in a row of taking L's. I don't believe it.
He earned it. The Santana Moss Show podcast starts right now.
It's a Santana Moss Show. Number 89, hustle all the time. Travis on the right, hot mic on the left. Every single week, it's a lyrical fact.
Oh, it ain't our fault. Santana Moss Show podcast. Travis Thomas, Santana Moss.
Booyaka.
More fire. What up, Tana, man?
What's up, bro? What's up?
Chilling, man.
How you doing, man?
So let's catch up because you know how we do.
Yeah.
I know we're on TV together all week. That's a beautiful thing. But what else have you been up to?
Everything, everywhere. You know me. Now, honestly, I finally got a chance to go down to Richmond. I've been saying the whole entire camp that I'm gonna be down there.
Yes.
And
you had an appearance, did you not?
Surprisingly, I haven't been down there as much as I wanted to because I was everywhere else. But this past weekend, which was the last weekend that they was going to be in training camp up there, I was called down to entertain some of the suite owners.
Okay.
Seasonal suite owners for this past Saturday. And on top of that, they had a Redskin rally at this bar called Gus's. It was pretty dope. So after I did that, I went over to the bar and then, joined the rally. It was a lot of fans came up with their families and stuff. We gave away prizes. We had raffles and stuff like that. It was fun. What topped my whole entire Richmond stay off that night. Now, let me remind you something. I'm from Miami. We have Jazz in the Gardens every year. As long as I've been living, I've been hearing about Jazz in the Gardens. I grew up in Miami Gardens, which was known as Carroll City. They named Miami Gardens for whatever reason they wanted to. But we have Jazz in the Gardens every year. I've never went. I'm in Richmond one weekend, and they have Jazz Festival, and I go, and guess who I get to see? Big Boy perform.
Come on.
You know I'm an Outkast fan.
Did you meet him?
As excited as I was to watch him live, him and Sleepy Brown, which they put on a great show.
Can't wait. I can't wait.
I just hated the fact that when they played the old joints that 3000 should have been on up there with him, it's just he had to do his verse and the song was off and oh man, but it was just a joy just to be able to see him live. I told you that's one of my things on my bucket list. I wanted to see the Outkast as the group perform. I got a chance to see Big Boy, so I was kind of pleased, sort of pleased because our Big Boy is him and Andre both are one of my favorite rappers. Both of those guys as a duo are my favorite.
Did you meet Big Boy?
Didn't meet him.
Why?
I told you I'm big. I'm not big on, hey, I'm a fan. I'm big on just, I saw it, boom, let's check it off.
Can we talk about this? You're Santana Moss. He knows who you are.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, but I wasn't into all that groupie love, man. I'm not that kind of guy. I don't like to overextend, my boundaries. You feel me? So I was there. I was right there on stage, and the folks that I was with, one of the girls who was a part of the group I was with, she went and took pictures and everything. But I was cool with just being there.
What if he's a fan of yours, Tana?
Who knows, man? I won't really. It don't. It won't make me sleep no different than I've been. Hey, you have many people that admire you for many different reasons, or don't, and I admire him and Andre. So that's all I care about. And I got a chance to see him. He put on a great show. Good job, Big Boy. And I also got the chance to see Jill Scott that night, too.
Oh, big fan of Jill. I've seen her live.
It kind of sucked because Jill and Big Boy came on at 8 and she came on at 9. And it was like when he wasn't playing the stuff that everybody wanted to hear because, he only could play so much without Andre.
Sure.
Start going to the stuff that I like that he has personally.
Right.
Everybody kind of started trickling over to Jill's stage. And that's the only part I hated about the whole event. But I got a chance to see him live for the first time.
Wow, shout-outs to Sir Lucius Leftfoot, and I'm sure he is a fan of Santana
Eddie
Moss.
Fact Sack.
So, Big Boy, if you are watching this podcast, can you please reach out to my man? And not only you two get a friendship going, but come on this program.
I'm a fan regardless, man. I ain't got to ever meet him personally, but, you know, I rock with him.
We've talked about on this show before how we would do anything for a Big Boy Andre 3000 reunion.
Yeah.
That just has to happen. That has to happen.
I'm crossing my fingers right now for that, man. The entire show, I was sitting there like, Andre know what he's doing? Like, he don't understand. Them guys have made $20 million a piece. Easy. They going to it right now. Easy.
Who's got more money between them two? Because Andre was a bigger star. However, Big Boy has remained.
Big Boy's a hustler, though.
Yeah.
He's a hustler. And that's probably one of the reasons why I kind of lean to Big Boy a lot when it comes to the guys in the group. Because,
business.
You know, far as the Gemini in me, Andre's a Gemini. But he's a different kind of Gemini. He's a May Gemini. So he don't think like them June Geminis. I'm a June Gemini. We got a different way we rock. But at the same time, Geminis are Geminis.
Right.
We two different people. Dre, he has that hustler mentality.
Yeah.
You seem like Dre can actually put on any kind of hat. And wear it. You know, you saw him in different movies. He's a true artist.
He's an artist.
So any hat that he has to put on, he can do that, and he's very versatile. So I like that about him. And when talked about when it comes to individual rappers, you never hear his name. But I promise you, it's not too many rappers can sit next to him and go bar for bar with him.
Shot.
So that's one of the things I like about him, because he's a guy like he reminds me of myself a lot, because he doesn't get the credit he should get for being a part of that group. They give Andre all the credit.
Right.
And Big Boy can hold his own. That's why he's been showing for so many years. I can go rock out these shows with Sleepy Brown, you know, and hold myself, you know, and Sleepy. So when I got a chance to view these guys in person, he did just that, what I thought of him. You know, he's a hustler. He has that mentality.
Yeah, no doubt.
He go about his business that way.
Shout outs to the whole Dungeon family clique. You are family here on the Santana Moss Show podcast. Even if my boy won't groupie out, I will. I'm telling all y'all right now, come on this show and chop it up with us. All right, Tana, I don't know if Trent is a fan of Outkast. I imagine he is. But one thing's for sure, right now he's not a fan of the Redskins.
Mm-hmm.
The Redskins now have drawn a little line in the sand as well. So, okay, you're unhappy? Too bad. You're under contract. Yeah. We are not trading you. So we have a full-blown standoff, allegedly. Is that what's going on there, you think?
I think so. I think the Skins, you know, I had mixed vibes about the whole situation when it first came about that they might trade him, because, you know, when it was asked of me on NBC Sports that night, me and you did TCD together, you asked me that, and I said I would trade him just because of the simple fact that, hey, if he's unhappy and I feel like I really did bad by him, right. I would do him some justice and say, okay, at least I can at least give you what you want, and it helps both parties out. But when I think about the big picture of it now, without Trent, man, them guys are nobody right now. that offensive line is really hurting. And we saw that this first preseason game. But at the same time, you can't really say how it's going to, play out because of too many of the stars didn't play. But you just got to know, you got to understand. I've been reading, listening to guys. Adrian Peterson had a quote in someone's paper on ESPN, I believe, and he said, we're really hurting without Trent.
Of course.
You know, he's put all the quarterbacks in a situation where now, you know, we went from having the blind side protected. Now I'm having to chip a little bit, or we have to put a tight end on that side, and that changes the scheme of things, how we do things. Sure. So when I heard that, it's like that little light came over my head and that little bell rung like, man, see, this is the first time somebody's speaking out about what's really going on.
Right.
You know, we can sit here and talk about back and forth about what the Redskins are going to do as an organization and what Trent's going to do personally, but the players are being affected. And, you know, I think about this season, you're doing so much to create, you know, what you're trying to build when it comes to the players on the defensive side. Offensively, you could say we was probably one or two players away from really having a great offense. You didn't know what the receiver position was going to be like. You knew offensive line-wise, these guys been together for the last couple of years. All we was trying to do then was beef up our left side by getting more depth and getting a left guard. But now you have, you know, your heart and soul missing. So I think the Redskins going to play hardball because of the fact that, hey, the worst thing can happen is that this guy don't show up and we get to fine him. And it's big money out there. This guy he's on the cap for $10+ million this year.
Lord.
The next 2 years. And, each game that he misses, that's $600,000 something plus. So the Redskins sit in a situation where if we trade him or not, we getting what we want. So why budge? Hopefully that if we don't budge, he comes back in the door and say, hey, I don't want all this money coming from out of my pocket. Because basically I look at Trent as saying, I got what I got. That $20 million, I'm not going to miss it if I don't have it. You know what I mean? But to me, the player who I am.
Hello.
If it's mine, it's mine. I need to be there. But
hey, cuz, did you say $600,000 a game?
A game.
Look here, Tana. $600 right now could change my life.
Oh my God! Exactly. So man, that is crazy.
It's crazy.
$600K a game. So it's impossible for me to sit here and think this thing can really boil over into the season without somebody, showing their card. If both parties keep bluffing, somebody gonna have to show their face.
Yeah.
And take the shades off. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
let
say,
me see them eyes.
Let me see them. You know what I mean? So they can put on the poker faces all they want, but as a player, just from a player standpoint, I can't see myself just missing out on that kind of dough.
Hell no.
Especially when it's given. It's mine. I deserve it. I would have to find a solution that I can come into, some kind of understanding,
right?
With the team that, hey, man, I understand I'm disgruntled right now. I have every right to be.
Sure.
The team should understand that also. Let's work something out. But the Redskins, I feel like they have the leverage because they know at the end of the day, you're going to miss out on this $20 million that we have left in your contract.
I'm going to keep it real. I think, and I could be wrong. I'm wrong several times a day. I've lost count at how many times I'm wrong. My theory is, typical conspiracy theory, Trav, I think this is posturing by the Redskins.
Mm-hmm.
I think Trent's getting traded. What I think they're doing is they're saying, okay, this guy's disgruntled, and he's standing on the rooftop saying he's disgruntled, and he's mudslinging our medical staff, and he's throwing us all under the bus as a franchise, right? I think what they're doing is this is their way of saying, you're under contract, we're not trading you, that's it, you're going to report. I believe other teams are going to think the way you are. They're going to say, okay, well, that situation's squashed in Washington. Meanwhile, as the standoff continues, as we get closer to the regular season, I think teams are going to look at their roster and say, we could use that guy. Maybe we can't get him pennies on the dollar, but let's see if we can make a modest offer to the Skins. So maybe what the Skins were, because remember, Tana, when this first started, we heard the rumors that the Patriots made a phone call. We know how the Patriots do business. This is Bill Belichick. Yeah, I'll give you a 5th-round pick for Trent. And they probably hung up the phone. Hey, man, I hate your hoodie. And they hung up, right? Maybe now teams call and they say, all right, we'll give you a 3rd, we'll give you a 2nd. I think this is posturing by the franchise to drive up the price for Trent in a trade. Do you think that's insane? Or could you see that?
I can see it. And then I also can see that this team being very cautious with how they deal them and who they deal them to.
Right.
Hey, if you want someone in the AFC out of our hairs,
no problem.
Have fun. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to allow this guy to go somewhere where it's going to come back and bite us in the behind. So, I can truly believe that they can do that because I've seen it done before.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, game 2 against Cincinnati. This one's at home at FedEx. What are you looking for in this game? I know for sure we both agree on we'd like to see some starters play, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
I've said on television this week ad nauseum, I get it. We all think this defense is going to be good, but who do they think they are? The 85 Bears? I need to see these guys play. So I'm assuming we're going to see starters in game 2, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. I came from a different era. And
you guys played.
I think the era I came from still was different from the era before me. And I don't get it, all these guys taking breaks nowadays. Bro, I don't remember a preseason game unless it was the last game of the season that I took a break.
Sure.
Like I literally
the last preseason game.
The last game when you know that I'm on the team.
Sure.
And even the year that wasn't unsure that I was going to be on the team, I didn't play the last preseason game. The coach came to me and said, after playing me the third preseason game, the entire second and third quarter,
wow,
he looked at me like, sit down, you just go to touchdown, 89 still got it, you ain't playing no more. But it's funny because I've always been a guy, I wanted those reps. I really need you to check me. I really need to be hit. I really
Tana,
need
in
to
all
have
the games?
No, not the last one, but that first, second, and third.
Okay.
Yeah. So I really don't get those guys not showing up in week 1 of the preseason. I give me 10 reps. It's a practice.
You said it went up a little bit each game.
It's a practice because you get to 10 that game, and then the next game, coach said, I want to see 2 drives.
Sure.
If y'all make it to the end zone before you get to 10, oh well, that's
right.
You out.
Right.
The third one, we playing half.
Okay.
So this game, I'm happy that the Redskins got whatever they was doing out of their hair, the first preseason game, and now we get to see some starters. Now we get to see the defense get out to the quarterback. I want to see that front 7. Mm-hmm. I want to see those DBs play together. I want to see Norman be Norman, but I want to see him have a little, freedom and knowing he has Dunbar over there, who's to me, like I said before, one of the better cover corners on his team. And who knows, Fabian Moreau in the slot, covering the third down guy, or see my man Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Who knows? I think
what we say, Jimmy got sold.
Jimmy got sold. Who knows what we're going to see? But I want to see those guys, Landon, those guys in the back end.
Yeah.
Him or whoever he has back there with him. But besides all that, offensively, I think my eye would be glued to the TV to watch the offense, see how they're clicking.
For sure.
We're going to get a chance to see the offensive line work together. The left side still unsure about who's going to be the guy.
Bless your heart.
Exactly. I'm kind of leaning to Donald Penn being like Donald Penn. This is the perfect situation he would want to come into, especially being a veteran.
Right.
He's been here before. I'm not to say how Donald Penn's body feel or where he's at mentally with his game, because some of the things that bothered me more than physically was the mental aspect of the game when I got older. And mentally what I say is this, the playing time, if it's different or if I'm not getting the reps that I want, it weighed on me like, man, come on, like this is something that I'm used to doing.
Adjusting to your role.
Adjusting to the role part. Like I was okay when I knew I had to go in the slot and that was my role, come in on third down. I wasn't okay my last year when they saying, well, we're going to put this guy in the slot and we're going to take a little off you. Nah, coach, if he beat me out of that position, I understand. So mentally that bothered me. I wasn't playing half of the time, so it didn't really bother my game. But when they told me, well, 6 weeks in the season, we're going to play you now because I guess that backfired, now I'm messed up in the head because I'm like, see, I don't put all this work in the offseason and you took that away from me of accomplishing my goals I had set, and now you just throw me in there. Well, my mind ain't on this no more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I'm going to play because that's what I know.
Checked out.
But I checked out. I was doing stuff that I didn't even do during the season because you really put me in that space. So mentally, I want to see where Donald's at because he's a guy that he was on the verge of retiring, right? He was on the verge of shutting this stuff down. And now he has an opportunity of a lifetime to be a starter again and have a chance to really lead our team in a desperate situation. Besides Donald, I'll be watching that wide receiver core.
Yeah, buddy.
They got a lot of young guns out there, man. And this thing, we removed from a year where we were saying our wide receivers probably was the worst in the league.
Yep.
All we could talk about is Doxson and what he hasn't been doing. Now you haven't heard anything about Josh Doxson.
That's right.
I think he's in the best situation when it comes to the pressures letting off him because now you're looking at the young guys, McLaurin, you name it, the Sims guys, you name it, Trey Quinn, those guys.
Yep.
Kinsey, all those guys, Davis, seeing what he did coming off a gruesome injury from last year. So those two positions I will be paying close attention to, besides the quarterback stuff. That's something that we know that's going to have to, have a big eye on. But I think those two positions are going to be key for this team to be good on the offensive side.
I want to go there. You actually mentioned the quarterback position. Jay Gruden said he will have this sorted out and he'll know his quarterback by the third preseason game. So a two-part question for you. Do you like that? And do you feel like and actually, let me ask you this, Tana. Do you like what Gruden said? And also, why is the third preseason game, even in your circumstance, you talk about how everyone played that game and then the fourth you sit. Why is the third preseason game the end-all, be-all? Why not the last preseason game? Like, why do coaches do that?
The third preseason game is the official dress rehearsal for the first game of the season.
But why is it that game?
Because the last preseason game is when now the young kids get a chance to make the squad.
Oh,
for everybody who's on the bubble.
So that's a showcase for those.
The fourth game is the bubble game.
Okay.
So that's the bubble game. The third game is like, okay, we done went through all these practices. By week 3 of the preseason, we should have our starters intact. We should have our rosters ready.
And you get an extra little bit of rest.
Boom, bingo. And now you're resting your guys come week 4.
Okay.
They're going to practice hard and good.
Sure.
And then week 4, that preseason game, you're going to sit back and watch that guy who you've been watching all practice saying, this guy should make it, or I hope this guy make it. So that's why I believe truly, he's right. This come week 3 of the preseason, we should know it's either going to be Colt or Case.
Right.
You know, we already know the young guy has the potential. He's probably going to be real good, you know, beyond what we can even see right now.
Yep.
But it's no doubt in my mind that they don't have that in the back of their head that he's not going to be week 1 starter.
Yeah, I agree.
Hey, rest that guy. Let him continue to grow and home in on some of the things that he's not doing well. But we should know if it's going to be Case or Colt. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm leaning on Colt right. I'm leaning on Case right now. Me too. I told you I'm a big fan of Colt. I know he can get it done. The only thing that will give me the notion that Colt will win it is if Case ain't ready when it comes to just knowing everything.
Yep.
As far as, you know, the whole playbook, like Jay will want him to know it. Other than that, I think he has the tangibles to be the guy because, you know, besides him having the year he had last year, this guy's always been in the situation where he had to earn his.
Yeah.
You know? And finally, it's crazy how things happen, right? You sit here, you get drafted where he gets drafted. He holds the record for the most yards in college. He's a gunslinger. The next Brett Favre, you want to think about it. Body might not be like it or might be like it. And he comes through the league, and now he's just having to go from team to team to find out where he fits. Finally fits, come in as not a starter, as not penciled in as a starter, take over the role, and take his team all the way to the game before the Super Bowl. And then now he finally gets what he deserved, a big deal, and now he's the guy, and it just don't work in 1 year.
Right.
And you willing to go ahead and dish him away. See, I hate that because it's not something that – it takes time. You know, like the man said, it's a marathon. You know, I understand where teams at because teams want to win now. And it's other people's job is on,
of course,
you know, at line.
Yep.
Or, you know, I think that's why they make the decisions they make.
It's on the chopping block, their job.
And that's why he was dealt out so quick.
Right.
Like, get him another year because that team sucked last year that he was on. So, you know, Case really has a chance to really and it sucks that now he comes into a team where the left side is still.
He has no line. It's going to be a problem.
Yeah, so, but with all that said, that's why I believe he should be the starter because I know he can do the things that we need him to do to get away from that stuff, get the ball out of his hands, and he can chunk it downfield.
See, what stood out to me was what you said last week after watching him in the first preseason game. This is what you said is actually what sold me as Case for the starter. When you said, you know, he's not going to have a great offensive line. He's going to be running for his life. He's not going to have a ton of time back there. But the one thing he can do as a veteran, if the defense makes a mistake,
make him pay for it.
In spite of all those things you named as negatives, he can still make you pay.
Make you pay for
and in this league, this is why I'm so hard on Jay Gruden, because in this league, if you are coached up and you are prepared, when a team makes a mistake, you're right there. I'm telling you, to me, that's so much of the secret sauce of the Patriots and why they're able to win all these rings, especially in the playoffs. When you get in the playoffs, it is a game of inches, as cliche as it sounds, right? So the team that makes a mistake, the Patriots will absolutely backbreak you right then. And so that's why, to me, Case should be the starter, at least to start the season, right? To me, in a perfect world, I want to see Case for, let's call it 5 weeks. If you're, I don't know, 1-4, right? 2 and whatever, then maybe you go to Colt for 4 weeks, see where you're at. If you're still the same, playoffs are out of the question, I want to see Haskins. That, to me, that's a rotation. While we're talking quarterbacks, could you believe Dak Prescott had the nerve,
Lord,
to turn down $30 million a year? Because one thing's for sure, they call you the Cowboy Killer. I can't stand the Cowboys. But I think we can both keep it real enough as Redskin dudes to say Jerry Jones does pay his players. Let's not act like Jerry Jones is cheap. They offered that man $30 million a year. He turned it down. Tana, he want $40
mil. It's unheard of.
Dak Prescott won $40 million. Say it out loud. You got to be kidding me.
It's unheard of. But you know what? I like it. I like the situation that he presented to them because now he's showing them that, hey, at the end of the day, if you feel that confident in me, then I'm that confident in me also.
Woo.
Jerry Jones was quoted as saying that we can do a lot of big things. We can win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott. So he just called his bluff.
he
Show me,
set the table.
if you really believe that, then this is what I want.
Right.
And think about it. You know, you have to always shoot high and try to come in between. Kirk Cousins getting 30 a year.
Yeah.
Have Kirk Cousins won a playoff game?
Hell no.
Bingo. I can go down a list of guys that
No doubt.
haven't done what Dak has done about game-winning drives, winning the playoff, even having a playoff berth, and that's having either $28 to $30 million a year as a quarterback. So
is he going to get 40?
you have to understand what he's doing and what his representation is doing. They're shooting high because they know at the end of the day they're going to come in between.
Okay.
You're going to see this man get $34, $35 million, and guess what? It's better than Kirk Cousins, who's jotted down as one of the top played quarterbacks. And at the end of the day, we all, probably not we all, I said Kirk he deserved it because of what he showed far as his stats. But when you really think of the big picture, he won a playoff game. Probably had one playoff berth the whole time he was a starter. So when you think about it, you're like, wow, if he deserved $30 million a year, then Dak does deserve a little more.
Okay, hold up. Time out. So Kirk didn't get that money from the Redskins. He got it from someone else.
Somewhere else.
Do you think Dak will get 35 from elsewhere? Or is your gut Jerry will write the check?
If Jerry that confident in him, Jerry gonna pay him. I want the drama because I don't want Elliott nowhere near the damn locker room, the facility. Because I want by the time we play those two games against
That's
them,
who worries you the most.
Look, Dak is as good as he is with that man in the backfield. Point period blank.
So as a Redskin fan, we want Dak to sign for all that money because it will handcuff that franchise, and it probably means the end
that's
of
one of the reasons why they already sitting where they sitting there right now with Zeke, because they feel like it's too much to put out for us to be trying to make everybody happy. We want to make Dak happy. He's not even happy. You know? So how are they going to pay Zeke? And if you pay Dak the money he want, obviously they feel that paying him that $30 million a year, they have some more room to pay Zeke.
Because they got to get Cooper too, Tana.
Got to get Coop. But I think for them to offer that 30, they feel like they can get everybody else paid with him taking 30 a year. That's how I looked at it.
Oh, that's why they are.
Because that's their number. They like, well,
right.
we sold with giving you 30.
We can make it work.
And you like, no. So to me, thank you, Dak, because now you put more pressure on what they have to do with the other two guys.
Okay, let me ask you this. Gut feeling. 2 out of the 3 stay. Who are the 2? You think it sounds to me like you think Dak and Coop are going to stay and Zeke's out. If you can only keep 2 and you're the Cowboys, who will they keep?
Well, if Jerry stick to his guns and saying he don't need a leading rusher to win a championship, then Zeke is out of there.
Yeah, it's Coop and
Dak.
Wow.
But I truly believe they need Zeke. I don't see that team being.
I think they need Zeke above those 2.
Yeah,
honestly,
they're a different team with the guy in the backfield.
Yes,
Zeke is the guy that at the end of the day, for every 5 yards that the average good running back gets you,
yes,
Zeke's turning that to 80.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, those are the hidden plays that people don't understand that makes greatness, that cause a team to be greater. You know, like if you have a guy like, I just shared with you a couple of days ago, I went back and watched stuff that I've been doing throughout my collegiate career, high school career, and up to, you know, my beginning stages with the Jets to my last game. And I never gave myself the credit that I see everybody else give me, because it was plays where you designed to be a 12-yard game and I made one guy missing. Holla. That's what Zeke brings to the party. He will make that 5-yard run look like 80 and a touchdown behind it.
Woo!
So you can't you can only hope and dream you have a guy like that on your team.
Yeah.
And he's that guy. And even when you saw Cooper come in last year, the things that he did with them, he didn't do over there in Oakland.
Same thing.
And you wonder
he was a game
why.
breaker.
Because he was comfortable and he had the opportunity to be the guy that he can be with the staff that they had around him,
right?
With the core guys they had around him, that allow him to do the things that he wants to do.
Because they put 8 men up, whatever.
That's why I found it hard. I'm sitting here saying, like, why is he able to do that? Then I look back, I go back and be the analyst that I am now today and say, oh, they wasn't running the ball that well over there in Oakland.
That's right.
So now you got to worry about Zeke and Dak, because Dak gives you that presence of, hey, I can run this ball
No question.
too. I got to be man to man on this guy.
Yeah.
And he's most lethal when he got that one guy giving him all the attention.
Yeah.
You know? So it levels everybody out. And you wonder why he couldn't do nothing over there in Oakland. You have nothing in the backfield. You don't pose a threat to me.
Oh, hold on,
Cars
Tana.
ain't running nowhere.
My alert is going off that we've talked far too much about them punk-ass Cowboys on this show. I want to go to taking L's.
Yeah.
If you remember last week, let's flash back. We talked a lot of trash about Antonio Brown's feet.
Dungeon wasn't looking right, man. You know, I mean, the boy claws was messed up.
Tana, this week, it's been all about the guy's helmet.
Say it ain't so my dog got 2 weeks on the show.
Now, I'm going to give him the take an L just because I know he's kissed and made up with the Raiders about the helmet issue. Mm-hmm. But, Tana, I keep looking up and reading headlines about Antonio Brown being a pain in the ass. Can I just say something? Am I allowed to say on a podcast in 2019, I don't know if the guy's on drugs. I have no idea. But he's acting real crack-ish. I'm not saying he's a crackhead, Tana. I'm saying he's acting crack-ish. I know that's your man. I mean no disrespect. What the hell's up with Antonio
Just
Brown?
being the diva that he is.
What is going on?
The league, the Pittsburgh Steelers, whoever you might want to call it, they created a diva. And look, that's what makes the position the position. I wasn't a diva, so trust me, I wanted to say as less as possible. Only time you heard something from me is when it was talking about the team.
Facts.
You couldn't get me to sit there and toot my horn.
But you felt him on the helmet, though.
Felt him. That's why I'm finna sit here and I'm gonna chime in the way I know best about that situation. When it came on, bottom of my stream, I'm like, oh, I almost feel like I was the only guy affected from that. Because I'm like, I never heard nobody else complain about this situation. I complained my last year. And I felt, I told you I'm superstitious. I felt like that had a lot to do with my season, the way it transpired. And when it went back to showing his couple of days of practicing with the helmet that they gave him, like, he has every right to be pissed off about it. Like, you're accustomed to something for so long, it's part of your game. It allowed you to, especially as a receiver, the way we look over our head, the shoulders,
he said he couldn't
it,
see.
It allowed us to be us, be efficient at what we do. And now you somehow I'm going to change it. After all these yards, all these catches, all these touchdowns, you want to change something that I feel like that I had to have almost created who I am.
It's a part of you.
It's a part of me. It goes hand in hand. So I feel why he argued about it. I feel why he took it to, hey, I'm going to take it as far as I can. The arbitrator said no. And he had to respect that because I know you love this game. You're going to have to just deal with some of the things that's presented. Yeah. Like, I hated wearing knee pads. We went through all the years without wearing knee pads, and then come 2013, I believe, they put a knee pad in there. The damn pads don't even touch my knees. So me putting a pad there is not even serving its purpose. So it's just certain things that come along with our game that now the league is trying to cover their behinds for all the lawsuits and stuff that's looming out there from other players. And, that's the thing I hate also. Guys go through all these years of playing, then, I'm punch crazy.
Sure.
Well, this is going to cause this.
Right.
So the league is saying, hey, we got to do our part. Get these guys the proper equipment that's going to protect them and us. And Tonio's saying, well, all these years, I've been okay with the little couple of things that I've taken, with this helmet. And you're going to get them with all helmets, because it's just a sport we play. So why change it now? Why tell me my helmet doesn't qualify or meet league standards? You lie. You just don't want me to wear what I'm accustomed to because you have to protect yourself. So that's why he went as far as he went with it. And then I'm glad a guy like Tom Brady chimed in and said, hey, man, I'm with AB on that one because I had to deal with the same situation. Now, I didn't go to those measures, but I just say, hey, I had to suck it up, and I'm still getting adjusted to it. I'm glad they got me out of there when they did because after that year, I didn't want to wear that helmet again anyway because it just wasn't me. I mean, I felt like I was back in Pop Warner looking underneath one of my bars, like my helmet set up on my head a little different. My face mask didn't fit flush like it's supposed to.
Right.
And that sucks. Who wants to be a professional player?
He said he couldn't see.
He can't see. So if you watch if you looked at the Hard Knocks version of him practicing, you can see the difference in his helmet from as a Steeler to now it just fit a little lower than it was before. And I understand him, man, but taking the L, we had to give it to you. But
I'm giving it to him, man.
I'm just sick of wanting to give it to him.
I'm just sick of hearing him and everything. And kudos to Tom Brady for coming out and defending him and saying, look, this helmet stinks. And then in the other hand, at the same time, deflating a football. Is that rude to say? I wonder how much of this is happening, too, because of Hard Knocks. Some of this feels a little extra to me. As someone who's extra in life,
and if
this
anybody
feels extra.
knows, all publicity is good publicity.
Facts. You know what? We can end it there because all publicity is good publicity on the Santana Moss Show podcast. Holla!
It's a Santana Moss Show. Number 89, hustle all the time. Travis on the right, hot mic on the left. Every single week, it's a lyrical.